This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
We've restored the YouTube feed, and if you want to catch that, it is up and running. Part of the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network, which also includes WWCB Radio Stream 2. We're on there for you 24/7. And, of course, that means you get all the games every day and night on, once again, WWCB Stream 2. Jammers in their half of the fifth, sending up Chris Steffel, Ben Brookover, and Skylar Valentine. Those guys part of that 4-run outburst by the Jammers in the top of the third. Chris Steffel, in his first plate appearance tonight, singled down the third baseline and into left field. Then went the opposite way again down the left field line, and Brent Vosick just caught up to it right about at the warning track and made the catch, retiring Steffel there. Chris, of course, left-handed hitter. Great to see that opposite field stuff. As we had outlined earlier, these teams all play their corner outfielders well off the line, and if you can hit it with enough zing and get it down the line either way, you're going to run for a while. Steffel steps in, Grant Donahue on the hill for his fifth inning of work. Cut and a miss on the first pitch by Steffel, and that almost looked painful from up here. Chris really took a heck of a cut at it, and I think he is laughing a little bit. I think the umpire and the catcher Adams both remarking on that swing. 0-1 the count, back in there ready to go. The 0-1 pitch, low, counts even at 1. Amazing, the other day in Major League Baseball, I saw Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies. They thought he had really messed up his hamstring, but I saw him back in a game already. So, but still, you know, you get in there and you're trying to put your all into a swing, and it can end up hurting you in one way, shape, or form. Pitch is over the inside corner, and the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steffel, the leadoff batter here for the Jammers in their half of the fifth inning, leading the game by a score of 4-0, and time is called by Steffel. Steps out. One bonus so far that I see from our previous trip here to Dunn Field is there's no hatch of insects going on tonight. That pitch is fouled off by Steffel, stays alive, and the count's still 2-2. On our last trip here, of course, the bus drivers always try to keep the doors open on the bus until the team gets in. And here's the 2-2 from Donahue. Did he check his swing? He did, but the ball was dropped by the catcher. Devin Adams had squirted back over toward the Jammers dugout. Steffel a little tardy getting out of the batter's box, realizing that it had managed to get away from catcher Devin Adams, and Adams completes the out by throwing him out at first base. I think the umpire indicated that he did swing, but Adams could not hold on to the ball. Does recover nicely and retire Chris Steffel for the first out here in the top of the fifth. It'll bring up Ben Brookover. First pitch by Grant Donahue to him over that PGCBO outside corner, strike 1. Brookover up for a second trip, called out on strikes on a 2-2 pitch back in the first inning for the second out there. He walked and scored in the third. Lost one toward right field. It gets down, and Ben's got himself a single. Over to cut it off quickly is Ayrton Schaefer. Ben Brookover, the one-out single to right field. Either I'm channeling things down to the dugout or maybe someone's listening and passing them along. I love it when these guys can go the opposite way and down the lines because it gives them really good opportunities. Now, as wet as this field appeared to be in spots coming in here, I don't know how long a ball's going to roll after it hits. Ben Brookover draws a throw from Grant Donahue and dives back in safely. Skylar Valentine at the plate, his UTSA buddy. Weak chopper down the third base line, rolls foul. As soon as it gets foul, to Andy Orzel's credit, he just swipes at that thing and makes sure that it gets that foul call. Strike one on Skylar. Skylar 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop, and actually what that was a high chopper over the head of Donahue that Rodriguez charged in and fielded and threw out Valentine. A pretty nice play by Brett Rodriguez for the final out of the first inning. And then Skylar walked, and on Estrada's single to left had made it all the way around to third. 2 runs had come in, and then the throw in from Rodriguez ends up escaping from Adams, and that allowed Skylar to score the third run for the Jammers. Hard shot to Troy Dixon. Hands it off to Rodriguez, who throws over to Connor Grammis, retiring Valentine and the Jammers. It is a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play for the Elmira Pioneers. No runs a hit, no Pioneers errors, and nobody left. We have completed 4.5 the score. Jammers 4, Pioneers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We've reached the halfway point of tonight's game, and the Jammers lead it by a score of 4-0. We have 4.5 in the books and 4.5 more to potentially go. Let's see what happens. It is the Elmira Pioneers half of the fifth inning now. And leading off for the Pioneers, it is the center fielder Colton Evans. First pitch by Brad Griggs. Inside, brushes him back off the plate a bit. Ball one. Cut and a miss by Evans that time. Counts even now at 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Nice pace, Brad Griggs. This is when he is able to just mow through batters, when he works quickly. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on Evans. And the pitch by Griggs. Oh my. That looked like it would have been called strike 3, but it's not. Apparently a bit low, squirts away from Connor Roll. 2-2 the count on Evans. Evans up for a second time. He's 0 for 1 to this point. 2-2 pitch, gets a piece of it and fouls it back. And the count remains even at 2 on Colton Evans. Evans, 5'8", $160, all the way from Modesto, California. He's attending UC Davis, wrapped up his freshman year there. That one is inside and backs him up a little bit, and the count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Cut, a foul back by Evans. He'll get another opportunity here to see a Brad Griggs pitch. Brad coming into this 5th inning so far has thrown 65 pitches to get here. 41 strikes, 24 balls. Gets loose out there on the hill and ready now with a payoff pitch. Fouled off again by Evans. About to see the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Elmira has had some chances so far in the ball game, but to this point unable to come up with anything. And they have stranded 5 through the first 4 innings. 3-2 the count again, the pitch. The payoff pitch is inside and low this time, so it's a leadoff walk to Colton Evans. Britt Rodriguez steps to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rodriguez 1 for 2 in the night, grounded out to Nick Bernick, playing second tonight for the first out of the 1st inning. First pitch he saw, he went after it and grounded out. Then in the 3rd, he hit a grounder to shortstop Alex O'Donnell that double clutched on it. Did Alex, trying to get it out of his glove, and that was enough time to allow Rodriguez to reach, and Rodriguez awarded a single, but then was erased. For the second out of the 4th inning, fouls off that pitch. It was 1-0 coming in, 1-1 now. One ball, 1 strike, runner down at first. Evans, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Jammers 4, Pioneers nothing. Toss over to first, more of a courtesy toss, but still diving back in is Colton Evans, and he is in there safely. Here is the 1-1. Ground ball toward Nick Bernick. Up, over to O'Donnell for 1, over to first. That's a double play. Pitcher's best friend has popped up a couple of times now for Brad Griggs with a runner at first and nobody out. And now the base is cleared and 2 out. Nick Bernick turned it nicely, and so did O.D., throwing over to Ben Brookover at first. 2 out, nobody aboard. At the plate, Troy Dixon, first pitch to him is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Next pitch is in the dirt, and had the ump diving out of the way of it, and rolls over here behind the home plate circle, and it's picked up by Connor Gramis, the on-deck batter, and tossed back to the ump. That pitch is over the outside corner, and the count now 2-1 to Troy Dixon. Quickly, Brad Griggs comes to the plate and throws one outside in the dirt. And the count is now 3-1 on Dixon. Brad steps off the rubber. Now kind of throws his arms up, kind of like getting reset again. And he throws it outside, ball 4. So, second walk in the inning, this time to Troy Dixon. So Dixon will go down to first with 2 out. And unusually, Brad Griggs has now walked 4 so far in the game and struck out just 2. That was his 75th pitch there to Troy Dixon. So Dixon down at first, Grammas at the plate. He doubled back in the first inning. Thought the Pioneers were going to score first. And the pitch from Brad Griggs is way outside, flagged down by Connor Rule. Ball 1. No chance for Dixon to advance. 1 ball, no strikes. Inside corner taken by Grammas. Strike 1 called. The count now even at 1. Lean out of the booth here and take a peek down to the Jammers pen. Ground ball. Nick Bernick backhands. Underhand toss to Alex O'Donnell, retiring Troy Dixon and the Pioneers here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no Jammers errors, and a runner left. At the end of 5, the score, Jammers 4, Pioneers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Back at Dunfield in Elmira, New York, heading to the top half of the 6th inning. Grant Donahue continuing on the... No, that is not Grant Donahue. His night is done. Welcome Chase Austin to the hill. An imposing figure out there. The man is 6'6", 315 from Tioga, Pennsylvania, attending Corning Community College. Just wrapped up his freshman season there. Jammers kind of back to the old days with a 4-run outburst back there in the 3rd inning. Haven't done that early in the game now for a while. It was good to see, and they did it with 2 out. That's when all those runs came in. Chris Estrada with a big bloop single to left field that made all that happen, and Chris is going to start things off for the Jammers here in the top of the 6th. I'll give you some final numbers for Grant Donahue in just a second as Chris Estrada gets ready. Gets those batting gloves all strapped on, and he's set up and ready to go. First pitch to him. Misses outside, a little bit high too, and that is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. There's the old PGCBL outside corner. And the count now is even at 1-1 on Chris Estrada, leadoff batter for the Jammers in the top of the 6th. The 1-1 pitch. Misses low, and the count now 2 balls and a strike. (2-1). Chase Austin with the pitch. Just misses. Caught that outside corner, but a bit high. And the count now 3-1 on Chris Estrada. Donahue went 5, faced 22 batters, 4 runs, 4 hits. Walked 3, struck out 5, threw a wild pitch in there. 81 total pitches, 53 strikes, and 28 balls. His night's done. And Chris Estrada, off of the relief pitcher Chase Austin, takes ball 4 on a 3-1 delivery. He's down at first base. Leadoff man on for OD, Alex O'Donnell. OD's been on base 2 times, walked back in the second inning, and then reached on an error, charged in the third. First pitch, just a little bit outside. Good eye by O'Donnell to take ball 1. I would have had to have swung, knowing the way those normally get called. 1 ball, no strikes. Estrada at first, nobody out. The pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by O'Donnell. Counts even at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Estrada with a pretty standard lead off the bag at first. The 1-1 pitch by Austin. He went around. O'Donnell tried to check his swing, but the home plate umpire said he went around for strike 2, the count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch by Austin. Outside low, and the count's even at 2 on Alex O'Donnell. Austin 1-2 on the season with a 5.48 ERA in his 15th game, 23 innings pitched. Has given up 20 runs, 14 of those earned, 37 hits. Opponents averaging .394 with Chase Austin on the hill. Takes a break there with the 2-2 count, gets reset, looks over at Chris Estrada and his lead off of first. Makes a toss over there, a pretty high one. Jumping up was Gramis to get it, and Estrada dove back in safely. Austin looks over again, and the pitch to the plate to O'Donnell, outside low, ball 3. Count now 3-2. Estrada reached on a leadoff walk. And now OD takes a look at Anthony Barone, who has free rein since there's no defined coach's box down the third base line. It's kind of down about as far as Brian Hill normally goes, and the 3-2 pitch is inside and low to O'Donnell, so Chase Austin comes in and walks the first 2 batters he faces, Estrada and O'Donnell, and that will bring up Connor Rule. Rule hit a bat-handle grounder that was fielded by Connor Gramis, and the underhand toss then to Donahue for the second out of the second inning. And he was called out on an 0-2 pitch. No, I'm sorry, he was swinging on that 0-2 pitch. Final out back in the third. Up here in the 6th with 2 on and nobody out. Austin's first pitch, as Connor Rule squared to bunt, is high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Got the attention of Andy Wurzel, the third baseman, who is now in on the grass right where the cutout is. And here comes first baseman Gramis on a stroll. Bunted down the third baseline, fielded by Wurzel, and then he has a problem with it. Had his glove down there and muffed it. And reaching on an error is going to be Connor Rule, and that loads the bases. Nobody out, and brings up Ryan Markey. Connor Rule safe at first on an error charge to third baseman Andy Wurzel. Ryan Markey will try to make something happen here. And the first pitch to him over the outside corner, strike 1 called. Ryan with a big hit there in the 9th inning at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park last night when the Jammers were trailing to Elmira 4-0. Came back. That strike zone. He walked a strike. See what Devin Adams remembers about him being called out on an 0-2 pitch in that previous at-bat. See how much he tries to get Chase Austin to repeat. One, the pitch. Nick has a cut and miss. The count is now even to Nick Burnick. After Nick, we roll around to the top of the order and John Conti. One ball, one strike. Austin leans in, gets a sign from Devin Adams, and the 1-1 pitch. Nick makes contact and fouls it off. Out of play down the first base line. Count 1-2. See if Nick can battle back here and make something happen. Get a little insurance for the Jammers.